about the minus again, especially um, the current ROI that I've got, as well as some of the contract balance that of these miners that I've invested in. So let's take a look at the USD crops farmer first. Um, if you go into the BSC scan, you can take a look. You can filter by the contract address of the miner, and you can take a look at the balance here. So the all-time high was around a week ago, with the $1.4 million in the funds in the contract. And we start to see a decline here, which is quite normal. It's impossible to keep growing in the funds when people are going to withdraw the rewards, and so probably it's very difficult to get the funds go back up. So probably you will continue to see the decline little by little. So far, from the all-time high until now, it's been a week, and it's only like 8% decline, week on week basis. So it's a slow decline, because people are not allowed to make a withdrawal more than, well, first they have to have compounded 10 times to be able to make a withdrawal without any penalty. That's why it's a slow drain in the funds. And I wanted to make a comparison with the project that was launched on the same day. It's called Grinchback, this one. So, and this is the contract balance, and the all-time high was probably the fifth day since the launch. And if we do the same calculation, so 1 week after that, then you're talking probably like 40% down in the contract balance from the all-time high. Uh, you know, so that is that tells a lot of how sustainable the project is, BUSD crop farmer, because of the rules, right? Whereas Greensbacks and other folks, without any tweaks in the code, and make exactly the same as baked beans, then once you start to see a decline, it's really fast to go down. Okay, so that's the contract balance, and quickly I'll go through the crop farmer BUSD. It's just the update of the data I shared in the last video. So this is, for example, well, I'll leave a link to this doc if you want to take a look at later. But this is the reward accumulation in the number of hours. So what people are doing in terms of making withdrawal. So in BUSD Crops Farmer, you're allowed to let the rewards accumulate up to 48 hours. So most people around 24 hours or 48 hours. That's what we see, and then they make a withdrawal. In terms of ROI, so this is the ROI. So you will see that more you accumulate, higher the ROI is. So I think the first people that have deposits on the first day or two, they probably could have made a withdrawal like 5 times already if you just do 24-hour accumulation. But still, you were seeing at this point, since the launch, it'd be better off to let the rewards accumulate to the maximum, which is 48 hours, and make a withdrawal. So that way, I think you can, myself too, I have made 4 withdrawals so far, and you're better off doing that. And in terms of ROI, by the number of days since the launch, since the first deposit. So clearly, the guys that got in on the first day, they are making better profit so far. And like I said in the previous video, this won't change. So the guys on the 25th, the deposits on the second day won't be able to be better than the guys that made the first deposit on the first day. And this 26, so it's been 26 days since the launch. And if we take a look at only those that made the deposit on the day of the launch, this is by the next chart is by hour. So these are and then the first hour since the launch. So these wallets making the best ROI so far because it was advantageous to, for the, so you were getting a lot more share in the pie by getting into the project as early as possible, right? And you had a better price for each miner. And then if you look at by minutes, this is also it's natural. So if you take a look, this one, very first one from the right, maybe it's difficult to see, but the guys, the average ROI on from the guys that have deposited in the very first minute of the project launch, it's more than 1% so far. So that's kind of in a nutshell. These charts tell you how important it is to get in as early as possible. So let's take a look at my ROI. I have been in projects, probably 4 or 5 minor projects. I didn't get into baked beans, but I am in these minor projects. And the first one, Ruby Mine, this is the ROI that I've got. So Ruby Mine, for example, I put 7 AVAX, and so far I got out 28 AVAX. So the ROI is more than 400%, and this is in terms of the token, right? Not in dollar value. As you see, the market is bleeding, and if we put it in dollar value, probably it won't be as high. Spook Beans, 900 Phantom invested in. I got out so far 1,319 Phantoms, and Farmhouse 650 Matic, got out 847 Matic. And BUSD Crops Farmer, this is one of the ROI is sitting at 156% right now. Green Spark, sorry for the typo. Green Spark output 2.5 BNB, and right now so far I've got 3.6 BNBs. And the last one, and the BNB Crops Farmer, which is the fork from BUSD Crops Farmer. I put two BNBs and I've so far made two withdrawals with the accumulation, 48-hour accumulation, and then the return is out of two withdrawals I made 43% of the initial investment. Um, and then here, you can see how fast was my deposit. So, for example, Ruby Mine, you can go to the to BSD scan or Snow Trace or Phantom scan or whatever it is that the project, the blockchain is. You can take a look at how fast you were. So as soon as they launch the project, it is important to get in as early as possible. And I was, for example, for Ruby Mine, 136th fastest in depositing. I Spook Beans 98th. I was really lucky in the USD Crops Farmer 66th. So that was quite fast. So it is important to polish your nails and fingers and just gotta click as fast as possible. So that's my ROI so far, and I expect to keep getting out as much as I can out of these projects. But again, it's not like the first week or first couple weeks, the rewards you get out, compared to those early days, close to zero. So still, Ruby Mine, I get out like close to one AVAX, every time I make a withdrawal, so which is not bad, but I expect to see a decline in each withdrawal. And then this is a detailed kind of data on my withdrawal amount. So this is for BUSD Crops Farmer. So the very first withdrawal, so the first and the second withdrawals I made, I let the rewards accumulate only to 24 hours, and then I made a withdrawal. So these are the withdrawal amounts. And from the third withdrawal, I waited for 48 hours and I got out 524, which is almost like more than half of the initial investment alone for this withdrawal. And Friday, I'm sorry, Thursday, I made the last withdrawal, fourth withdrawal, which was $445 BUSD. And then, the rewards keep declining because the funds are draining, even though slowly, but it is. So for when it comes to price per miner, it's going down fairly quickly. So every time you compound, you're getting so it's like a 12-hour. Every 12 hour you are allowed to compound, right? And then you get 4% increase in, or 4 or 5% depending on the bonus you've got in the compound, but basically it's around 4% increase in the number of farmers. But if you compound, your daily yields that you can see and here. So if you go down, you have estimated daily yields. So this one keeps going down while other people are withdrawing, while the people are compounding. So it keeps going down. And then Yes. And then every time you compound, you kind of, get the daily eagle score back up a little bit. So it used to be like, okay, every time you compound, you would see like, going up and going up. But right now, it's just barely like you're trying to maintain the daily yield by making compounds. I don't think it will ever go up unless you keep compounding for days and days with a 40% bonus. But I'd rather just make a withdrawal once a week. So this will keep going down. So that's kind of the update on my ROI in those miners I invested in. And I don't think I will get into another miner unless we see a very unique features. For example, Ruby Miner, the team joined with another team, and creating a rather more sustainable a miner as well. So when it comes out, maybe I might be interested and might put some money in. But so far, I think I'm pretty done with the miners. Right. So thank you for watching.